Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host, Cole Denis, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. Let's get rolling. First off, before we really dive into this episode, the good news, Ravens lost this week. Monday Night Football, Ravens lose 38 to 30 to the Lions. As Steelers fans, we love to see that. So I thought I'd let everyone know. Once again, let's celebrate a Ravens loss. But we won this week at the top of the division. What's the move? We gotta trade for Tyreek Hill. I'm fully on board for this move at this point. The Dolphins already 0-3 this season. In my opinion, my prediction is they're about to blow everything up in Miami. If this continues, if the losing streak continues for Miami, they're getting rid of the coach, they're getting rid of coordinators, they're getting rid of everyone with talent on the team. They're tanking. We know McDaniels is probably going to be fired here soon. Maybe a good offensive coordinator option. I'm just going to throw that out there. We're going to come back to that at a later date when he gets fired. But let's just assume they're going to be selling off all their players of notoriety to secure potential future draft picks, future or just young players, just as many as possible so they can build a future in Miami. This leads me back to my proposition of the Steelers attacking early, getting ahead of all the phone calls, to secure and have a chance with someone with like Tyreek Hill. Yes, Calvin Alston had the game-winning touchdown, had a solid game-winning drive against the Patriots. But 7 quarters before that, he vanished. He was like the Avatar. You didn't know where he was. He entered the iceberg. He was gone for the 7 quarters previous between the Jets game and that final drive against the Patriots. We didn't even know Calvin Austin was a player on the Steelers because that was how much production he was having for us. It felt like he did nothing through against Seattle, through 3 quarters against the Patriots, and then he came up clutch, of course, at the end of the game, securing the player of the week spotlight for me. But once again, those 7 quarter stretch where you're not having any production from your wide receiver two. Those were the question marks I had going into the year, and they continue to build as he continues to lack production when we need him. Uh, Tyreek Hill, though, he adds that explosive weapon to the Steelers offense. It's felt like for years now, those 20-plus yard plays have been impossible to achieve. Tyreek Hill makes those a breeze because of the speed he has on the outside and his ability to get open. I've also seen some comments in the comment section below talking about how the chemistry of him and Rodgers wouldn't mix well. Him and Tua didn't mix well, and him and Tua were able to succeed for at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years in Miami before everything came crashing down for him. I also just think Rodgers is the type of quarterback to make sure his big weapons get involved. We've seen it through 3 weeks with DK Metcalf. We've seen it through 3 weeks with Jonnu Smith also. He's been forcing the ball to Jonnu Smith. He's had hella of targets. Who would have expected that going into the year? Some people would have. I would have thought Pat Fryermuth would have been tight end one, but Jonnu Smith getting all the targets, it feels like. So there's no doubt in my mind that Rodgers would make it work with Tyreek Hill. I think people really throw a lot of slander Rodgers' ways to working it out with his receivers. He is aggressive, but you need an aggressive leader at quarterback. That's their job. They got to get everyone up to speed. And for those who saying a third, fourth, and a fifth are too much to give up for someone like Tyreek Hill, just point to me the last time the Steelers have had an elite ability of drafting potential talent in the league. I'll wait. It hasn't happened in years. So I'd perfectly be fine with giving up the middle of the draft because we still got picks in those rounds. We have multiple picks in all 3 of those rounds. Give them up, secure the second weapon for Aaron Rodgers. If you could go all in like the the Rams did a couple years back. You go all in for that 1 year. You sell out for the Super Bowl. You sell your soul to the devil to secure that ring. Let's do it. I want to see the Steelers make it past the first round this year. Let's keep going. But let's move on to some former players calling this offense out, tearing into the team struggles. Harry Bradshaw, once again, back at it critiquing the Steelers. He said that's not a great football team. That was his quote. Also referred to us having great players all the time, but never the pieces around them. Yes, that's true. When we had the Killer Bees, we didn't have a defense. When the Killer Bees left, we had a defense, but no offense. It's been a struggle. We haven't fully lined everything up, of course. But I mean, yeah, I gotta agree with Terry on this one. It has been brutal for the past couple years, and so far through this season, there hasn't been an elite side of the ball. We've seen the offense perform at a high level for a number of drives this season. We've seen the defense string together a couple solid drives this season, but we haven't put together a full game yet. Uh, the good news is Bradshaw also changed his tune on Rodgers after a couple of impressive weeks. He seems a little more impressed by what Rodgers can do back there. Also, offensive lineman Trey Essex, former offensive lineman, I should say, critique this offense of not having an attack over the middle of the field, relying heavily on the short routes and go balls to move the offense down the field. Essex also said that every defense is excited to play the Steelers. Another quote I can't disagree with because of how lackluster this offense has been for years now. Of course, the defenses are getting amped up the nights before playing us because they know they're going to put up big numbers against us, especially the defensive line. Our offensive line has to improve every week, and we're not seeing it yet. Robert Jones still being a liability out there. It has been brutal. And even, I mean, it would be nice to say that there's been periods where both offense and defense look legit. Honestly, it's a very small period of time when both of them are operating at a high level, and it was the first two drives of this last week against the New England Patriots. So hopefully that means we're building upon something here in the Bird, but for our best two drives to come against a team like the Patriots doesn't make you feel the most confident for sure, doesn't instill the most confidence in us as fans, but we can hope that this team only continues to improve. The defense, did it get better? I'm going to address that. The defense is celebrating because they had held a team to 14 points, of course. That's always elite. Was it really the defense's reason? Was the defense the reason we held them to 14 points, or was it more the Patriots fundamentally not sound against us? I think it's more the latter here. Them putting the ball on the ground 4 times against us, how reliable is that? And even though we did only allow points this week, third straight week this season, the defense has allowed 200 plus passing yards and 100 plus rush yards, and in back-to-back weeks, it's been 250 plus rush pass yards and 100 plus rush yards. So once again, I'm here to say that is unacceptable because this defense, I had so high hopes for this defense. We've had a bend don't break defense before, but I really thought this defense going into the year was going to be maybe potentially a historic defense, being the highest paid defense in the league. But historically bad has been the motto this year, supposedly on the defensive side of the ball, because it hasn't looked great. And we did get some takeaways last week, of course, and that helps us feel a little bit better about this team. But I have to call out what I see, and after thinking a little bit more after Monday, this defense didn't have the best game ever yesterday. We did get a lot of sacks. We were able to punch a couple balls loose. Like, you look at the fumble on the goal line by Stevenson, Cam Hayward just gets a finger in there. It's not like he punched the ball loose. He just got a finger in there, and somehow the ball came out, and Peyton Wilson was able to jump on it. And that seemed to be the gist of most of the fumbles. in the game against the Patriots. It didn't seem like the defense really took it away. It more was like the Patriots were giving away to us this last week. And I just want to make sure we all know that the defense still has a lot of room to improve here. It has still been not the best. I'd love to see the tackling continue to improve. That was something that definitely looked better this week. The tackling, one-on-one tackle situations, we were able to bring people down. But once again, how reliable is it that your defense can consistently force the ball out and then also get the bounces to hop onto the ball when it's on the ground? Not that likely you're going to get 4 fumbles in a game ever again this year. This is going to be usually a 5 turnover game is you're lucky if you get one in the season, and we already got our one. So I'm not expecting more 5 turnover games. Our defense has to shut down teams and not allow them to get yards. We got to take something away, in my opinion, on the game plan. You got to go in there just focusing. If it's a team like the Jets, focus on their run game. Take the run game out. Don't let them have above 50 yards rushing that game. Let Justin Fields go crazy. If that's how they're going to win, Justin Fields, kudos to you. Get the job done. But I don't think that's going to happen. Take something away. Take away their key opportunities on offense because once you let an offense really get into the flow of things where they're able to produce both on the run and the pass game, you're just guessing as a defense, and you stand no shot. And so far through the season, we have stood no shot as opposing teams' offenses have been able to execute a balanced game plan consistently on us. But let's talk about week 4 here to close the show. JJ McCarthy ruled out already. Is this a positive or negative for the Steelers? In my opinion, very negative. Uh, JJ McCarthy through his first 2 games had 1 good quarter out of 8. He didn't look the best. He had a great fourth quarter against the Bears, but besides that, nothing really went his way in the other 7 quarters. He really looked like he was struggling. Goes down with injury. Carson Wentz comes in last week. They roll the Bengals. Against the Bengals, Wentz looked pretty solid, having a 70% completion percentage for two TDs. I think it was 170 yards in the game. So nothing like elite numbers. But O'Connell seems to be able to pull the best out of these career backup quarterbacks. You look at Sam Darnold last year, them having just one of the craziest seasons of last year, him and the Vikings, and earning Sam Darnold a massive contract in Seattle. Now, with JJ down, you get Carson Wentz. And a lot of people sleep on Carson Wentz, but before that ACL injury, Carson Wentz was in the MVP race. So don't be surprised if O'Connell can pull a cat out of the bag once again with Carson Wentz and string together a couple solid weeks with him. So it does worry me some facing Carson Wentz. I would have liked our odds a little bit better against JJ McCarthy. Still leaning our way, even with Wentz back there, but just a little bit more hesitation. You'll have to wait till the end of the week to get my final prediction on that game. But that has been Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.